This is the heartbeat, the soul of Cuban music here. The kind of depth to this music, a poetic sensibility to it that I just really love very much. The son tradition, the son, which is what they call this kind of music. This music is alive in Cuba. It's not been put in a museum and locked up. I always thought since I was a little kid it would be great to just be able to just walk in a door and there it would all be and you could take your place. Every day driving to work there was quite an adventure, quite an exciting experience to have. A very vivid experience. The building was an apartment house. People lived in where the studio was, and people came and went, and it was hot and it was kind of run down and very beautiful. So we ended up in Havana with some of the greatest soneros and son musicians that you could ever want. These people are the greatest artists in this style. You know, this is something so beautiful and so rich and very real. And it's like an experience you virtually can't have. Where are you going to hear this kind of music? You know, how are you going to experience anything like it? Very unusual in the world. You know? Compay Segundo, he's a fabulous character. He's like, I mean, larger than life, great looking guy, beautiful man, funny, very charismatic, a showman from birth.
Me pusieron como nombre Máximo Francisco Repilado Muñoz. Ahora, mi nombre artístico, Compay Segundo.
He's 89 years old. He is of the older tradition of soneros who really created this music. Say from around the turn of the century, it really became quite well established till the 20s.
¿Tú qué has hecho, no? Esa es una canción muy vieja cubana, ya del 20 o del 15 por ahí, muy vieja. Entonces a él le gustó, porque él busca también hacer una demostración de lo tradicional, de la música tradicional, porque ya la moderna es moderna, pero lo que hay que buscar las raíces de la música, por eso a él le gustó tanto eso. La tradición no se puede olvidar. ¿Por qué? Porque si se olvida la tradición, se está olvidando la historia. Y la historia siempre es historia.
Everybody's very democratic in Cuba. They don't have a sense of high and low and less important or more important, but you do need somebody who has the definitive knowledge, and that's Compay.
Por la experiencia que tengo y todos los cantos, y he cantado con todos los músicos viejos de Cuba. Pues ya yo soy uno. Yo creo, no en Cuba, en el mundo no hay ningún músico que tenga 90 años y esté cantando. A mí no me tiembla la voz. Yo tengo un segundo. Bueno, entonces, no hay en el mundo un artista que tenga 90 años que esté cantando. Entonces, es un premio que hay que dármelo. Me lo merezco. 90 años.
He's the chief. He has the most knowledge, and knowledge is precious. I mean, because in any music, the knowledge of the past means that you know more about what makes the music tick. Plus, he has a lot of tricks in his own bag, you know.
Amor de loca juventud. Ese fue un número que había mucha influencia de la música americana, la música aquella de 1920-25. Allá en Cuba se tocaban muchas canciones americanas. Esa es expresión americana.
Con candor, el alma entera yo le di, pensando en nuestro idilio consagrar, sin pensar que ya lo que buscaba en mí era el amor de loca juventud.
Ruben Gonzalez on piano, whom I had asked for, having no idea if he still lived, and and sometimes when people get old and they fall out of fashion, you don't hear from them, you naturally assume, well, he's dead. We come from Los Angeles, we walk in there. First person I see is Ruben Gonzalez sitting at the piano, It's a miracle, really, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's like having Joey Morton come down, I'd say. Or Louis Armstrong come in to play with. You'd hear him, we'd walk up the steps, down the corridor where the wall had caved in so it was sort of open to the outside, and you hear this guy pounding away, playing all kinds of crazy stuff. Just amazing. Ruben just play and play without stopping for hours. And then I'd listen back and I'd say, here, about an hour ago you played this. What's this? Oh, that's Pueblo Nuevo. Well, let's do that. That's a good one.
Yo nunca he querido dejarlo. Yo digo que lo voy a hasta el último de eso, en el sepulcro, yo voy a tocar la última nota.
Ibrahim Ferrer, who was the shocker for me, the surprise, a kind of Nat Cole-like character, had been a romantic sort of bolero singer in the 50s.
Bueno, para mí esto fue la sorpresa del año. Yo estoy en mi casa, yo estoy limpiando unos zapatos. Yo no estoy en nada. Y entonces, oiga como dice, Ibrahim, te están buscando. Dice, mira, este es Juan de Marco, el director de ese maestra. Ah, sí, coño, ¿cómo estás? Digo, te vengo a buscar para que hagan una grabacioncita conmigo para que te busque unos fulas. Ya está. ¿Pero cuándo? No, ahora mismo. Pero, coño, compadre. Pero no, que así mismito. Pero chico, ¿cómo va a ser así, compadre, como estoy? No, lávate la cara y eso. Entonces me hizo, ponte, quítate la ropa, ponte aquí, lávate la cara. Y fui para... Cuando entro allí en el estudio, yo no sé todavía lo que voy a hacer. Me sale Eliade. Tan, tan, tin, tan, 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 tin, tan, 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 tin, tan, 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 tin, tan, tan. Ese es un número que se titula Hay Candela, de Faustino Rama.
And then in a bolero style, Ibrahim sings that Dos Gardenias tune. Well, who can deny that? It's some kind of classic,
Dos gardenias para ti, con ella quiero decir, te quiero, te adoro, mi vida. Ponle toda tu atención, que será tu corazón y el mío. Dos gardenias para ti, que tendrán todo el calor de un beso, de esos besos que te di.
And Eliades Ochoa is a kind of countryman from Santiago in the east. He's a kind of a cowboy. He's a kind of a what they call guajiro. So he's sort of more of a rustic character and a great guitar player. 20 años, which this woman, Omar Portuondo, came and sang with us. She's a sort of Edith Piaf character down there.
Omar Portuondo, que hizo una grabación con ella también, sí. Es buena cantante, es de primera. Ahí le hice el segundo, a 20 años, de María Teresa Vera.
People are so open-hearted that there never is any feeling of jockeying for position or superiority or trying to, having your own personal agenda, that if I'm great and they back me up type of thing. I want to lead now and they back me up. And nobody's like that. So they all pull together, they all do it as one in a totally complementary way. And so the problems you encounter elsewhere of who's going to be great and who's going to be less great, it just doesn't happen. And that's why the music can have this flow. That flow has to come from people who have let go of this ego-driven sound or never had it to begin with. My guess is they never had it to begin with.
La siento, porque la música hay que sentirla. El que no siente la música no la interpreta bien, porque hay que sentirla, hay que tener fuerza, un poder. La música es fuerte y el que la va a expresar tiene que expresarla así, con esa seguridad y esa fortaleza y adecuarla a lo que es la vida, el paisaje, la naturaleza, el amor, la guaracha, porque yo también hago guaracha.
I just think, hey, let the world hear this before it disappears. You know, it's now, it's being played. Go down, get the record, then try to go see these people live.
Aquí también, gangarra. También, y también hago así. En el amor hay una cosa. En el amor se presentan las cosas. ¿No es eso? Pero uno tiene que hacer su demostración. Porque yo así mismo, como tengo con mis 90 años, yo quiero tener un hijo. Yo quisiera tener un hijo ahora. ¿Te das cuenta? Así que siempre lo deseo. Deseo el amor.
Ay, mamá.